I made an outrageous prediction back in June of 2016. In fact, here, let me show it to you. It was on Twitter. I said, I'm going to double down on my prediction from 3 days ago. Jeremy Corbyn will be the next prime minister of the UK. Doesn't matter when elections are held. Now, at the time, he was way behind, and people in the responses were like, you don't know anything about the UK elections. That's an outrageous statement to make. Even if it takes a couple more years before the elections, there's no way that Jeremy Corbyn can win. And odds makers just 2 years ago had him at 200 to 1 to even become the leader of the Labour Party. Man, I wish I had time to put money down on that one, right? And of course, he is the leader of Labour right now. But I was told, no, of course not. Now, I said, of course, during elections, Theresa May was put in without going to the actual electorate. She was chosen in Parliament. So I said, whenever the next elections are held, and here they did a snap election. So Theresa May thought, well, I've got such a huge lead, I can't lose. A woman running as an establishment candidate who thinks she can't lose. Where have I seen that movie before? I can't quite tell. Anyway, so she called for a snap election, and in America this blows us away, but the election's held in just 50 days, and then they're done with it. Here in America, it takes like 2 years to hold an election and billions of dollars of corruption poured in. Anyway, well, on April 19th of 2017, she did. She had an enormous lead. The Conservative Party leading, Theresa May, of course, from the Conservative Party, leading 45 to 26. Jesus, that's a 19-point lead. I've actually seen some that were even larger than that. I saw one poll where they had a 24-point lead. Jeezum, Lord mercy, 24 points. I guess I was wrong, right? And the elections are right around the corner. There's only 2.5 weeks left. They're going to be on June 8th. Wait a minute. Now there's a new poll out, and it's from May 16th, and it's 46-33. So 24 got cut down to 13. Here comes Corbyn, but hold, wait, we're not done yet, because there's a new poll out right now. May 18th to 19th, they did the poll. All of a sudden, 44-35, we're down to single digits. In a very short period of time, that lead got cut down from 24 points to 9. Here comes Corbyn. Now, if you're not familiar with the UK and their politicians, understandable if you live somewhere else in the world, but Corbyn is a significant progressive. I would say that he is significantly to the left of me. So we are told by the establishment in the UK, no. The people of the United Kingdom are not interested in Jeremy Corbyn. He is way too left. They like the stability of Theresa May, and they have some polling to back them up. I get it, right? So here it is. Here, let me show you one that is on the side of the establishment. So May retains, they explain in The Guardian, a positive net approval rating, the difference between those who approve or disapprove of her, of 17%. Corbyn has a net rating of negative 18%. So he's a divisive figure. So I get that, I understand that. Except I remember a guy who also was net negative and was a polarizing figure running an establishment against an establishment candidate, but the people hated the establishment so much, they voted for him anyway. And part of the reason he got those negative ratings, well, Trump earned it, but here Corbyn has been endlessly attacked by the media. The establishment does not like Jeremy Corbyn. You know why? He promises real change, significant change. And when the establishment hears that, whether it's here in the US or in the UK, they think, no, don't rock the boat, don't rock the boat. Why? They're on the boat, it's their boat. So if you're doing really well and you're part of the establishment media in the US or in the UK, you think, this is such a nice boat we have. Don't rock it, and plus don't even tell me that there's an iceberg straight ahead. The reason I predicted Corbyn, the reason why I said back in 2013 that Bernie Sanders could beat Hillary Clinton when he was down by 60 points to Hillary Clinton, is because people can't stand the establishment anymore. The reason why I warned on ABC right after the DNC that Donald Trump could win the election, and I predicted that he would win at that time, was because People hate the establishment, but the establishment doesn't want to see it. They see no evil, they hear no evil, and they certainly don't talk it. So if it's a populist candidate from the right or a populist one from the left, they go, no way. There's no way they could win. And we smeared them to no end, and we got their negative numbers up, and it's okay. He'll never catch up. One more piece of neverness from The Guardian here. They quote Adam Drummond, and he's in political polling, and he says, Labor-leaning voters who dislike Jeremy Corbyn appear to be gradually returning to the fold, safe in the knowledge that they can vote against a Tory landslide without making him prime minister. So don't worry, Donald Trump isn't gonna win anyway. You might as well just vote for him, or don't vote against Hillary Clinton. It doesn't matter, she's gonna win anyway. Okay, look, in the UK, the size of the win matters a lot because it's a parliamentary system. It's not like here in the US where one person is gonna win and they're gonna be the president. How many seats you have in parliament is enormously important. So if you support Jeremy Corbyn or Labor or progressive ideals overall, you got to get out there and vote because that makes all the difference in the world. Even if he doesn't win, she might not be able to put together a majority, in which case then his chances are much, much better. So every vote counts, even more so in London, I should say in the UK. And in fact, today's the last day to register. So we'll put these links in the description box below too, but go to gov.uk/register-2-vote. Again, links will be in the description box for you guys. The Canary.co has done a great job of informing people about the progressive movement in the UK, and the peoplesmomentum.com is kind of a somewhat rough equivalent of our revolution that Bernie Sanders has here in the US for Britain. If you want to check out the Labor Party manifesto, we'll have this link down below as well. And part of the reason that the lead is closing now, guys, is because Labor Party put out their manifesto and people kind of liked it. They're like, oh, that seems to be for us and not for the people in charge. And then in their infinite cockiness, the people who called for this election in the first place, the Conservative Party, then put out their manifesto and it talked about how it was going to cut heating assistance, etc. In other words, going to help the establishment and we're going to hurt the average British citizen. And guess what happened? All of a sudden, their numbers started to go down. Combination of hubris, an establishment candidate thinking that they can't lose, and a populace that we already know is angry at the establishment. That's why they voted for Brexit. Now, one last thing, guys. Can you imagine if instead of only having the right wing run populist candidates, the left wing actually had a populist candidate that won? Like, they never give us a chance. It's either the establishment or some right wing lunatic. Why don't we try a reasonable progressive populist and see how it turns out? Well, if you're in the UK, this is a rare opportunity. You get to speak not just for you guys, but honestly for the rest of the world. And to say, okay, we tried populism from the right and it has been a disaster throughout the world. We tried the establishment for decades and decades and they told us it was going to trickle down to us and it still hasn't come down to us. In reality, the upper class kept almost all of the gains. Why don't we for once try a progressive populist and have him fight for us and see what happens? And the reason Corbyn has that credibility is because he's been just like Bernie Sanders, doing the same thing for all this time. Look at this. That's Corbyn on the left fighting for civil rights in the UK and being arrested for it. That's Sanders that's Corbyn on the left and Sanders on the right fighting for civil rights in the US and being arrested for it. Same guys, basically, of course they don't agree on all the policies, but fighting the same fight for all these decades. And as the establishment tells us that Jeremy Corbyn, please, has no chance, there's no way he's going to win, I do declare. I think that there is some chance he's going to win. I think that's why he closed the 24-point lead to 9-point lead so incredibly quickly. I think the Conservative Party has done themselves no favors with their manifesto in the UK. And I think this election is nowhere near over. Can't wait to do a Told You segment. For God's sake, UK, everyone else out there, try progressivism for a change. After all of the horrible things we've gone through with the right wing and the establishment, what do you have left to lose? And look, and it's beyond that. It could actually be real change, positive change. Give it a shot. Podcast The Young Turks anytime you want. TYTnetwork.com/join.
I think it's weird.
No, it's not weird. In fact, you'll think,
You know, I'm like a smart person.
do it now. tytnetwork.com/join.